The Young and the Restless spoilers, Nikki Newman's bold move, Claire's defiance against Victor Newman in the ever-complex world of Genoa City, family dynamics are about to be tested once again. The tension between the Newmans is reaching a boiling point as Claire, Victor Newman's granddaughter, begins to take a stand for her own future. The latest twist in the ongoing drama reveals that Nikki Newman, ever the voice of reason and strength within the Newman family, might just be on the verge of a bold move that could change the course of events for Claire and Kyle, as well as the entire Newman empire. Claire's dilemma: love or family loyalty? Claire, the young and determined granddaughter of Victor, finds herself in the midst of a fierce battle between loyalty to her family and her own burgeoning love life. She has come to a shocking realization: she is deeply in love with Kyle Abbott. Despite their differing family backgrounds, Claire sees in Kyle a man who offers her a chance at true happiness and a life she could never have imagined within the constraints of the Newman legacy. She confesses to her family that she has seriously considered the possibility of living with Kyle, something that could set her on a path that defies everything Victor stands for. Victoria, her mother, is instantly wary of this decision. She is not one to easily accept such drastic changes, especially when they could provoke the wrath of their patriarch, Victor. Victoria fears that Claire's relationship with Kyle is moving too quickly and that Victor's inevitable reaction could turn their lives upside down. For Victoria, it is hard to imagine a future in which Victor would ever accept Kyle as a legitimate part of the Newman family. However, despite the concerns, Claire stands firm in her love for Kyle. She acknowledges the reality of Victor's potential reaction but hopes that, over time, Victor will come to understand and accept Kyle. Her conviction remains strong: Kyle, to her, is a man who would never hurt her, and she truly believes that the relationship is worth fighting for. Nikki's role: a voice of rebellion against Victor. Nikki Newman, ever the strong matriarch and often the voice of reason within the family, finds herself at a crossroads. Although she understands the gravity of the situation and the potential fallout from Victor, Nikki starts to see the situation differently. Her maternal instincts kick in, and she begins to see the merit in Claire's defiance. Nikki suggests that the best way to confront Victor's overbearing control is not to passively accept his decision but to challenge him directly. With Claire's happiness at stake and her own personal beliefs about love and family in the forefront, Nikki sees this as an opportunity to stand up against Victor's authoritarian rule over their lives. Maybe it's time for someone to challenge him, Nikki muses, aware that this will undoubtedly strain family relationships. Still, she sees no other choice if Claire is to have the life she deserves. This bold stance doesn't come without consequences. Victoria, ever the cautious one, does not entirely agree with her mother's approach. She feels the timing is too risky, and given Victor's unpredictable nature, it might be a bridge too far to directly challenge him. However, Nikki's point is clear: Claire and Kyle deserve the freedom to make their own choices, and they should not be held hostage by Victor's unwavering control. If Claire and Kyle see this as the right step, then we shouldn't hold them back, Nikki argues, insisting that sometimes, defying Victor is the only way to break free from his grip. Victoria's fear: the consequences of defying Victor as the tension escalates. Claire's admission to her mother that she is in love with Kyle causes further worry for Victoria. She fears that Claire is rushing into a situation that could have devastating consequences. Victoria knows how unpredictable Victor can be, and she's all too aware of how fiercely he guards the integrity of the Newman name and legacy. While Claire sees Kyle as a worthy partner, Victoria fears that her mother's influence will only escalate the conflict, making it harder for Claire to have any peace in her relationship with Kyle. The possibility of Victor losing it over this situation is a real concern. Claire is well aware of what this means and tries to prepare herself for the worst, but her optimism remains intact. She continues to hope that Victor will one day change his mind, but deep down, she knows that there is a significant chance her future with Kyle could hinge on this family battle. Still, she doesn't let fear of Victor's reaction sway her from what she believes is right for her heart. A family torn between love and power. As the stakes continue to rise, the Newman family finds itself at a critical juncture. Claire's boldness could very well be the spark that sets off a larger battle between the family's legacy and the power of love. Nikki's decision to support Claire's autonomy could shift the family's dynamic in ways that no one could have anticipated. For once, Nikki's loyalty to her granddaughter may take precedence over her allegiance to her husband, Victor. For Claire, this is her moment to define her future, and her decision to openly challenge Victor's control could have ramifications far beyond just her love life. Whether Victor will relent or double down on his authority remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, the Newman family is headed for a showdown that could change everything. Kyle and Claire, a relationship built on trust in the midst of all the turmoil. Claire remains resolute in her love for Kyle. She continues to reassure herself that Kyle is a man who will never harm her, and she believes their relationship is built on a strong foundation of trust and mutual respect. With every obstacle that comes their way, Claire and Kyle's bond grows stronger, and Claire becomes more determined to make her own choices, regardless of what Victor thinks. As Claire moves forward, determined to carve out her own path with Kyle, she will need all the support she can get, especially from Nikki, who has become an unexpected ally in this fight. But with the specter of Victor's wrath looming over them, the road ahead is anything but certain. Will Claire and Kyle's love be enough to overcome the powerful forces working against them? Or will Victor's grip on the Newman family be too much to break? As the drama unfolds, fans of The Young and the Restless will be on the edge of their seats, eagerly watching to see if love can truly triumph over power, or if the Newmans will once again find themselves divided by the forces that govern their world. The Young and the Restless, Billy's bold decision and the growing tensions between Sally and Phyllis in Genoa City. The stakes continue to rise as Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra find themselves navigating not just their professional lives but also the complex web of relationships that tie them to others in their world. The latest turn of events revolves around Billy's decision to form an unexpected partnership with Sally, and the shifting allegiances that threaten to upend everything. From Phyllis Summers' unwavering loyalty to the undercurrents of distrust swirling around Aristotle Dumas, the drama builds to a boiling point that will leave no one untouched. Billy's dilemma, a new partnership with Sally. Billy Abbott's life has never been simple. As a member of the influential Abbott family, he is used to the pressures of running a major company, but the last few months have proven to be a real test. Recently, Billy had a conversation with Sally Spectra that would change the course of his professional trajectory. Billy informed Sally of the latest shockwave to hit their workplace, Daniel Romalotti's departure. Daniel, who had been a key player in the team, had unexpectedly quit his position. The reasons behind his departure remain unclear, but Billy suspects that Phyllis Summers, Daniel's mother, might soon follow suit. Her devotion to her son could potentially lead her to leave her current role to focus more on Daniel's well-being and perhaps even work alongside him in some capacity. For Billy, the news about Daniel's exit is yet another challenge in a series of setbacks. With the company's future uncertain and no backup plan in place, Billy is forced to think quickly and strategically. As the pressure mounts, Billy turns to Sally, offering her the opportunity to become his new business partner. This is not just a professional move for Billy, it's also a chance to bring in someone he believes has the creative vision and drive that the company needs to move forward. However, there's one major complication: Sally has a deep passion for her career in fashion, which could complicate any future plans. Sally's reluctance, a passion for fashion. Sally Spectra is no stranger to the spotlight. Having made a name for herself in the fashion industry, Sally's heart has always been tied to the world of design. Her passion for fashion runs deep, and while she's had her fair share of challenges, she's never let go of the dream of creating something beautiful and innovative in the industry she loves. Billy's offer to join him as a business partner is certainly tempting, but Sally is torn. While she recognizes Billy's talents and the potential for growth that this partnership could bring, she can't shake the feeling that her true calling lies in the fashion world. She's had opportunities to leave the fashion industry in the past, but each time, something has pulled her back. Sally loves Billy, but she knows her heart is in her work, and giving up her dreams would be a sacrifice she isn't sure she's ready to make. Nonetheless, the excitement of working alongside Billy, especially in the face of the challenges they are both currently facing, is an alluring prospect. As she contemplates Billy's proposal, Sally wonders if it's possible to balance both her love for fashion and her desire to work with Billy. Despite her inner conflict, Sally can't deny that she has a great deal of respect for Billy's vision. The prospect of building something together is exciting, and she begins to warm to the idea. However, there's an unspoken understanding between them. Billy sees more potential in Sally than anyone else, but she is not someone to be swayed easily when it comes to her career. Her loyalty to her passion is unwavering, and even as she considers the idea of working with Billy, she remains steadfast in her belief that her true calling is in fashion. Phyllis's loyalty, a complicated relationship. As the conversation unfolds, Sally reveals a surprising piece of information to Billy. She confesses that Phyllis had recently approached her for help. The two women, despite their complicated history, found common ground in their mutual distrust of Aristotle Dumas. Phyllis, with all her experience and instincts, had suspected that Aristotle might be hiding something. He had been a source of tension for Billy and Sally alike, and Phyllis's sudden request for Sally's assistance speaks to the deepening mistrust she feels toward him. Phyllis may not always have the most pristine reputation, but Sally can't deny that Phyllis has a fierce loyalty to those she cares about, and Sally herself respects that loyalty. However, Billy's perspective on Phyllis's loyalty is very different. He remains skeptical of Phyllis, especially after she had secretly undermined his partnership with Aristotle. Phyllis, in Billy's eyes, is a master manipulator, and he is finding it harder and harder to reconcile her actions with her words. While he appreciates that she's been a strong figure in his life, especially when it comes to their shared history, he can't ignore the damage she's caused behind the scenes. Billy knows that Phyllis has her own motivations, and they don't always align with what's best for the business, or for him. Still, Phyllis's return to Genoa City brings with it a sense of urgency. After comforting her son Daniel, Phyllis returns to Billy, still visibly shaken by the turmoil in Daniel's life. Her concern for her son's well-being is palpable, and she once again urges Billy to take action. She knows that if Daniel's exit from the company is not addressed properly, it could lead to even greater complications for everyone involved. Phyllis is not just worried about Daniel's future, she's also pushing Billy to act on the growing tensions surrounding Aristotle Dumas. For her, loyalty to her family comes first, and she is willing to do whatever it takes to protect them. A growing rift. Billy, Sally, and Phyllis. The dynamics between Billy, Sally, and Phyllis are shifting rapidly. Billy's growing frustration with Phyllis's actions is only deepening, and Sally's new role in Billy's professional life could serve as a catalyst for even more tension. While Billy may admire Sally's integrity and her passion, he can't ignore the complex history between her and Phyllis. As they work together, it will become increasingly clear that their shared loyalties to each other will be tested. With Phyllis lurking in the background, constantly concerned about Daniel's future and pushing for Billy to take action, the situation is bound to escalate. For Billy, the decision to move forward with Sally as his partner could have lasting consequences, not just for the business but for his personal life. The lines between loyalty, love, and ambition are becoming more blurred, and with Phyllis continuing to influence the direction of events, it's clear that nothing in Genoa City ever stays simple for long. As the story unfolds, Billy will need to make difficult choices, balancing the demands of his career, his feelings for Sally, and his complicated relationship with Phyllis. The Young and the Restless, Claire's bold decision and Daniel's struggle for redemption. In the ever-turbulent world of The Young and the Restless, the lives of the characters are constantly in flux, with love, betrayal, and personal growth intertwining in dramatic and sometimes heartbreaking ways. The latest developments involving Claire, Kyle, Daniel, Phyllis, and Billy mark a significant turning point in their lives, as relationships are tested, and personal dilemmas take center stage. From Claire's blossoming love for Kyle to Daniel's uncertain future, the stakes have never been higher for these beloved characters. Claire's confession, love and hope for the future. Claire Newman, the young and passionate daughter of Victoria Newman, has always been caught between the expectations of her family and her own desires. In recent weeks, her heart has led her to Kyle Abbott, a man she believes in deeply, despite the reservations of those around her. When Claire finally admits to her family that she is in love with Kyle, it is a moment of vulnerability, yet also one of clarity. She knows the risks involved, her family's disdain for the Abbott family, particularly Victor's unrelenting grip on the family legacy. But Claire believes that Kyle is different, that he is a man who will not harm her, despite the complexities surrounding their relationship. As she speaks her truth, Claire predicts with conviction that Kyle will never hurt her. It's a bold statement, given the tangled history of their families, but one that Claire feels in her heart. She is not blind to the challenges they face, but her love for Kyle has grown stronger than any external pressures. As she looks toward the future, she makes a quiet but powerful decision: Kyle will be a part of that future, and nothing, not even her family's approval, will change that. However, she also hints at a greater decision to come, one that involves Kyle and the paths they will choose together. Her words are not just about love, they are about the future she envisions for herself, one where she takes control of her destiny. Daniel's sudden decision, a shocking reversal in another part of Genoa City. Daniel Romalotti's journey is taking a dark turn. Once a promising young man with a bright future ahead of him at Abbott Communications, Daniel's life has been marked by a series of emotional and professional setbacks. The recent decision to cancel his commitment to Abbott Communications shocks both Phyllis Summers and Billy Abbott, as they had both expected him to be a major part of the company's future. His sudden withdrawal raises questions about Daniel's true intentions and his struggle with his personal demons. Daniel's decision to step away from the business world comes as a surprise to many. However, deep down, Daniel has always struggled with his sense of identity and his place in the world. He has never been truly enthusiastic about following in his family's footsteps, and despite the promises he made to Phyllis and Billy, he cannot bring himself to pursue a career he does not feel passionate about. His decision to withdraw from Abbott Communications is not just a professional move, it is also a personal one, signaling his need for space to figure out who he truly is and what he wants from life. Despite his lack of enthusiasm for the corporate world, Daniel's devotion to his mother, Phyllis, remains strong. As he grapples with his future, he encourages Phyllis to continue her work at Abbott Communications. While Daniel searches for his own path, he wants Phyllis to find fulfillment in her career, even if that means going down a different road than he had originally planned. His sense of guilt over letting down those around him weighs heavily on him, but he cannot ignore the deep sense of loss he feels after all the changes in his life. Daniel struggles, finding his path. The emotional toll of Daniel's recent decisions is clear when he meets Tessa Porter at the local coffee shop. Tessa, ever perceptive, notices immediately that something is off with Daniel. His usual upbeat demeanor is replaced with a heavy sadness that he can't hide. Tessa's concern for him grows as she listens to his words, knowing that something deeper is troubling him. As they sit and talk, Daniel opens up about the overwhelming weight he feels in his life. He confesses to Tessa that he feels lost, unsure of what the future holds for him. Despite his outward appearance of confidence, Daniel has been struggling with a deep sense of uncertainty. His decision to leave Abbott Communications was not made lightly, but it has left him with even more questions about his place in the world. He admits that he doesn't know how he will fix things, but he feels the need to step away and figure it out on his own. Tessa listens intently, offering him her support, but she knows that Daniel is in a dark place. His self-doubt and emotional turmoil are evident in every word he speaks. Daniel's internal battle between what he wants and what others expect from him is tearing him apart. He has always lived in the shadow of others' expectations, whether it's his mother, his family, or even his own past, and now he is struggling to carve out his own identity. The pain he feels is raw, and Tessa can see that Daniel is not just dealing with professional disappointments, but also with a deeper sense of loss and confusion about his future. Phyllis and Billy, shocked by Daniel's decision. Meanwhile, Phyllis is left to pick up the pieces of her son's sudden decision. She is deeply disappointed by Daniel's withdrawal from Abbott Communications, as she had placed a great deal of hope in his involvement with the company. For Phyllis, Daniel's rejection of the family business is not just a professional blow, it's a personal one. She had dreamed of seeing her son take charge, to follow in her footsteps and create something meaningful with his talents. Now, she must reconcile herself with the fact that Daniel is stepping away from everything she envisioned for him.